Welcome back to Karborundum Quest. So, on our agenda for today, we have some launches, some explosions, and our first death or so. So what you can see at the moment is just us getting the brand new, the very expensive Karborundum harvester. We're getting it lined up to throw it into a solar orbit, into a low solar orbit, and that's all that's happening with this particular time. So all I'm going to do is just jump ahead to what is next. So here we have our newest spaceship. I've just called this the Odyssey, and I'm just running a few missions with it, just collecting people that have been abandoned. And this leads us on to what happened next. I installed a mod that was a SpaceX equivalent mod. I've forgotten the name of it at the moment, but you'll see it in a second. Now, the mod was brilliant. I tried it with thrusters, I tried it with TAC, tried landing all the different stages of it. It worked really well, except for one small tiny problem. And that was that once I actually flew it up into orbit and opened the docking bay, it has a little docking node here, you can just see me planning the actual interception. So once it's actually up into orbit, a glorious little docking node that's on the very tip of this opened up in such a way that you can't actually get access. Now this craft that I'm using is literally the craft that comes with the mod. It's their example craft, and as you can see, the tip of the docking node is too large. You can't dock against anything unless it's the exact same size. You can't dock against a flat surface. So that became a bit of a problem. So we had to go through some manual changes. I was trying to mess about with it and see if I could get it work, and then decided just to spacewalk all of the staff over to for the new section, and then take the Kerbal that I had recovered in this spaceship and just spacewalk them back and bring them back down to the planet. And that was brilliant. Oh, I decelerated normally. This is all of the mod stuff, and then this happens. So I'm trying to get it rotating so that it's facing the right way, and then I discovered that the craft, although it can survive, the craft isn't rotating right and it's coming in side on, so the ablative armour is absolutely useless. But then this happens. It doesn't decelerate. So that is our first death. So on with the main part of this. Now, the reason this is called Mass Effect is because I've been playing through the 3 previous Mass Effect series, waiting for Andromeda to come out. It's one of my favourite games. I came to the party rather later than everybody else. I was put off because they used sex to sell the initial couple of games, and any game that does that I just go, nah, I'm sorry, I'm not playing something that somebody might be touching themselves to. So I ignored that until I saw a review of it by Yahtzee Kershaw. Or it was actually a review later on that commented that these games were very good and that a lot of people dismissed playing them because of the same reasons I dismissed them. So I went back, I played through the games, and they became some of my favourite games. I thought they were absolutely brilliant, and I've recently got them for a £5 for the PC. I played them all on Xbox, played through them again. Now my favourite race was the Quarians, so this was my little homage to the Quarians, was to create a ship that looked like one of the Quarian ships, but still within my playthrough, within the current amount of technology I've got. I don't have too many centrifuges that can be used in the same sort of way as the Quarian ships look like. So I decided to make this, and between this and a book I'm reading which has got a lot of essence of von Neumann probes, so ships that are able to replicate themselves, this ship has been built so that it has the capacity to carry material to another planet, as well as some crew, and actually create the landers. So I can design the landers later on and then have this ship actually build them. Now the original way I was going to do this was to launch it at the space dock. I tried it 4 times, kept quick saving, going back to it. Every time I did it, it exploded. And where I've got the ring going round the outside of the centrifuge here, the ring would either, parts of it would explode, engines would explode, or the ring wouldn't align properly. Something to do with the way it was loading in. So I decided to launch it from the planet. Now what I did was, I had already launched it from using the space station, which had enough resources to build this. So from Utopia Planitia I launched it, tried it a couple of times, and then in the end gave up. But I left it there. I left one of the launched versions. So my intention was, this has been launched with no material kits or specialised parts. My intention was to recycle the old one. So what I've done here is I've deployed the space dock. As you can see, I've managed to get it to the orbit where the older one was. At this point I'm running at about 4 frames a second. My computer is having a small heart attack trying to manage all of these parts. And as you can see there, the damage on the outer ring of the centrifuge, that's just the way it seems to load in. And this was the best out of all of the loadings. So what I did was I just didn't give it any fuel at all. I let it drift away from the station, and then I brought the main ship round to try and recycle it. So after a lot of manoeuvres, it turns out I didn't put on enough thrusters to make this thing very agile. Obviously it's a very heavy ship. It was 26 million credits to build, so it took almost the rest of the money that I made from that first load of Karborundum that I brought back. Luckily I have a harvester out getting more, but I think I'm down to about 9 or 8 million credits left for the rest of the things I want to do, so I need to get harvesting. At this moment in time in the playthrough, the Karborundum harvester is now about 60 days away from the point at the sun where it's going to circularise its orbit. But yes, so here we go. Just getting everything back now. This looks pretty slow, but it's actually accelerated I think 12 times. Which gives you an idea of exactly how slow it was going when I was doing it. And the reason I'm doing it at an angle is because it took so long just to get this close. This is about 4 hours worth of work just with these 2 ships. I figured it was easier to just try and bring it in at an angle and then recycle it. Now I don't quite know how these docks work, but what I've done in the past is it comes in, it seems to grab the ship, and then once it grabs the ship you can recycle and it just starts taking parts off of it. On occasion bits get taken off and the ship sort of breaks apart and bits of it float away, but for the most part they're fairly good at recycling and I have a good laugh with them. I wish they looked a bit prettier, but they're good because they're deployable. I quite enjoy them. So I'm just getting closer. It seems to be latching. Now the ship has Valentina and a few newly hired engineers in it and a scientist. And it's jumping. This is as it was recording. Well, shit. There is absolutely no escape pods attached to this section. It doesn't have any fuel left, and it got thrown towards the atmosphere. So there we go. That's our next load of fatalities, which was a very happy thing. I'm sure you will all agree. And just to show you, I happened to hit the map screen, and that shows you exactly what's happened. There's a little point of explosion and everything getting rocketed off in different directions. So yeah, that's what happened. I'll see you next time.